Hey everybody, my name is, for those who don't know me, my name is Brandon the Shapeshifter. That's my cosplay name. I just wanted to sit down and have a nice little talk because, I am an active member of the LGBTQ AI plus community, and I'm a proud member. I believe that everyone has a right to live their truth and to do what's authentic to them, in spite of what everyone else says, them trying to tell you that who you are is wrong or whatever. I think that one of the biggest problems, I think that I can only speak for myself, but I think that one of the things I regret doing back when I was 18 was coming out. And I will explain. So when I've always known that I was gay. I've always known that I was different from other boys. And I wasn't into certain things that typical boys are, but that doesn't mean that that has nothing to do with being gay though. But it's kind of there's a correlation though. But I knew that I was gay since I was 7 years old. I've known. No one can't tell me different, So I believe that when I was about 18 years old, I decided to come out, and I think because I held it in for so long that I feel like I just wanted to shout out to the rooftops, I'm saying, this is who I am, this is me, and I'm no longer going to play people's game and oh no, I'm not gay, no. I'm like, that's not fair to me. I grew up with very closed-minded people around me. I wouldn't say I grew up in a religious background, so to say, because my mother wasn't really religious, and I feel like my father, I don't really know my father that well, honestly, if I'm being honest. But the very first two people that I told, actually, it wasn't my parents. It was an old friend of mine. Her name will be nameless, but because we're no longer friends anymore, thank God. But I remember her telling a mutual friend of ours that, oh, I think Brandon's gay, and and she just basically, she came out and asked me if I was, and it's none of her business because, but at the time, you're not thinking like that. You're not thinking that way. You're thinking oh, do they know? What? How? And I've been called, gay slurs all my life because I don't have the typical stereotypes of what a boy is. And I don't have those qualities, I should say, and that's fine because I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And I remember she she came up to me and she said this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I am. Yeah, first I said I was bisexual, whatever, and and I remember she asked me to go to prom with her because I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, bitch, I don't want to go to prom with you. I don't want to go to prom with you. But I remember I agreed to it, and I guess I didn't feel like me. It felt like I had to put on this air for other people because other people are ignorant. So I remember when I told when I finally got around to telling my mother and my father, who is no longer living, he's deceased, rest in peace, my father. But I remember telling them, and my mother she I don't know, she started crying, I guess, whatever, because she's saying how she's afraid for me, or she's afraid how I'm gonna be treated, and the whole AIDS thing, although AIDS doesn't just affect gay people, it affects anyone who's sexually active and they don't have safe sex. So anybody who's not abstinent is can contract the virus. But anyway, but that's what she was like kind of like getting at that time, and like and I kind of like, she wasn't being an asshole about it. She just kind of like like, oh, like I just wish, like, I hope you are safe, blah, blah, blah. But then the next day, I remember like I was talking to her, and I said to her, I was like, I really can't wait to find someone, like find a boyfriend, whatever. And she's like, you're not gonna find a boyfriend, you're gonna find a girlfriend. I'm like, I'm like, you're not gonna tell me what to do, like, and this, like I've always said, like, it took a lifetime for me to get comfortable in my skin, and now that I'm comfortable, you're not gonna take that away from me. As far as like my father goes, he was very indifferent about it. However, he had told his wife, she would remain nameless because I hate the bitch. But he had told his wife, and he basically, like, so from what I was told, the day that my father passed away, and well, I should say the day that we went to his funeral, his mother, my grandmother, had approached me while we're in the limo. We're in the limo, going, like, coming from the graveyard, right? Like, after, like, we had buried my dad, and like and she's like, and I remember I'm sitting next to her, and she's like, she's like, I know what you are. And I'm like looking at her like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, I know what you are. They told me that you're gay. I'm like, okay, and like, it's kind of like she felt like it was her place, because I didn't grow up with her, so I don't have any kind of like real, I guess you can say, I don't have any real like familiarity with her. Like, we're not familiars, like, we're estranged, like, not on purpose, but it's just the way it was. I just didn't grow up with her. So I thought it was weird how she felt like it was her place to like try to confront me, like, and I'm like, and what is your point, like, and I'm like, and she's just kind of like, she's telling me like, oh, well, like, like, your father's wife told us. And I'm like, why would she tell you? I don't talk to her either. Like, I don't have a relationship with her. I was like, so clearly my father had told her. And I guess one day my grandmother tells me, she's like, oh, well, she told us that, she said that, did you know that your grandson's a faggot? And I swear on everything, if I was to hear that, we would have some serious problems. And I was really upset with my father, because first of all, you're telling this woman that I don't like my business. And I guess, like, the fact that they felt like it was their place to try to like make me feel bad about myself, even though at this point I'm grown. So I think that the problem is, like, with coming out is that people always like speculate, oh, they're gay. They'll say it in whispers and behind your back, and maybe they'll even say it like in a joke to you. But it's nobody's business or their journey for them to tell you who you're supposed to love or who you're supposed to be with, or make you feel awkward or weird about it, because that's a personal journey that you're going through. So when they feel like it's their place to try to like, oh, let me go and like make him feel uncomfortable, I have a serious problem with that. So that's why I've always said, like, I wish I didn't come out to I wish I didn't come out to them, because and when I say don't come out to them, I mean, like, I'm not gonna sit here and declare to them that, oh yeah, like, I'm gay, like, you know what I'm saying? I hope you can accept, because you're giving them that power to say yes or no. You give them that power to say, I accept you or I don't accept you. And it's nice when they do accept you. I take everyone's acceptance, it's nice. But if they want to be an asshole to you, and then like, you know what I'm saying, and feel like, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna be a jerk to you, and I'm gonna say no, I don't accept it, then that's where it comes to be a problem. And it's like, unfortunately, like a lot of people, a lot of kids have this problem when they deal with homophobic parents, unfortunately. And like, you know, like these kids will like, you know, kick them out of their home. And it's a good thing that I was already an adult when I came out. But it's like, it really sucks when you don't have like, I guess you'd say like a support group, like, you know, people that will support you and people that will encourage you, and you know, and not expect anything from you other than being your authentic self. And I think that over the years, I had to suffer a lot of it. I had to learn a lot of lessons and suffer a lot of abuse from people, because, you know, I think it's just growing pains of, like, you know, of dealing with, like, when you're going through life and you learning how to deal with certain people, you're gonna have to learn. So it sucked, and but now that I'm in my 30s now, I definitely feel like, you know, I definitely have a lot more a leg to stand on. Rather, I have great friends and people that care about me. I you know, I have, you know, since this whole COVID thing, I've been writing my books, and I've been writing, like, you know, I'm writing a book series called Dark Mysteries of the Paranormal, and you can find it on Amazon, the first 2 novels, and I just feel like I'm definitely thriving now more than ever, because I'm living my truth, and it's just not something that my existence or my sexuality is not up for debate. It's just not. And if people have a problem with that, then, like, you know, that's their problem, not mine. You don't have to be in my life, you know. And I don't have any tolerance or patience for people who are like that, because, you know, as I said before, no one has a right to make you feel less than, you know, for being different. So, but I definitely had like a long journey, and I don't think that my coming out story is as bad as maybe some others are, because, you know, there's some other kids who will come out and they just have like a horrible reaction from their family members. Like, they would kick them out, or maybe they'll even try to kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's just, their reaction is just bad all around, and it can be a very jarring thing. So but I don't like regret like living my truth, and I don't regret, you know, especially being a black gay man, because I'm black and gay. You know, I have to deal with a lot of, you know, I'm just gonna say it, like, you know, a lot of times in the black community, because I know that there's homophobia in all races, you know, but it's very prevalent in the black community, and I'm from the black community, so I'm going to talk about that. It's very prevalent in the black community. They love to, like, a lot of times black hetero people have like this thing in their head where they feel like, well, I don't have to like respect you because you're gay, and so therefore, like, you know, I'm going to be an asshole. I'm actively going to be an asshole to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But then in the same breath, they want to turn around and talk about racism and, oh, take it down, and oh yeah, George Floyd and blah blah blah. Right, but how exactly are you, like, you can't have it like, you know, say I accept this, but then I don't accept that. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh yeah, take down one form of bigotry and discrimination. Oh, but let's keep the other thing. Like, because that's just how I personally feel about it. So I had a long, like, drawn out, like issues with people in, you know, just people in the black community, but not just them, but I mean, I always say that because I'm from the black community. So, you know, I deal with black people a lot. So, but it's unfortunate. and it's unfair. And I think that no one has a right to make you feel less than because of their own personal thoughts. And if they have a problem with that, then they can fuck off, honestly. But I think that, like, as someone who's gay, whatever, it does. I would say that anybody who what I do like, however, in this day and age, I think that it is getting more and more progressive, and the idea of, like, maybe I might have a gay son or a gay. Although, like, there's lots of people who are still don't like it, or who fights against it, and they feel like, oh, you choose to be that way. No one chose to be gay. Why would I didn't choose to be gay. Why would I want to, like, have a life full of oppression and make my life harder if it doesn't need to be? Like, and that's something that happens a lot. It's like, it's with being gay is that we deal with a lot is lots and lots of oppression, and from, like, from our peers. And I think that people have, like, this thing of, like, well, only black people can, like, only black people have, like, this, like, are they're the most hurt, and they're the most, like, targeted. I'm like, okay, but do you not realize also in, like, other countries, it's, like, illegal to be gay? Like, they can try to kill you. Why doesn't that like bother you? But only the racism because it directly affects you. But when it comes to other people's problems, or other people, like, being discriminated against, because guess what? It's not just you. It's a lot of people who are discriminated. A lot of people have a hard time. Do I believe that Black Lives Matter? Hell yeah, they do. But you know what? But guess what? Black Lives Matter, so do Black trans lives, Black gay lives, Black every. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just can't be Black hetero lives, or, like. And the funny thing is, I believe that, like, I heard, like, the Black Lives Matter movement was founded by lesbians, which is very ironic because you have these it was founded by lesbians, but in turn now it's like the straight cis heterosexual people wanted to hijack the movement and say, oh, well, yeah, you guys don't matter, so who cares about y'all? And, like, I've heard, like, there's, like, been so many, like, Black trans people murdered, and not just murdered, but they've been, like, savagely murdered. And it's so unfortunate that I can't, like, I've heard my own ears and seen my own eyes, like, whenever something bad happens to someone in the gay community, like, the LGBTQIA community, and another a straight Black person was like, they shrug their shoulders. Oh, wow. Oh, that's God doing his work. And I'm like, that's interesting. So the next time that, like, but the next time when a like, I don't know, when a police officer wants to, kills a Black man, you're not saying, oh, well, because it resonates with you more because of the fact that, like, you are a Black man. But if a Black trans person, who a lot of times are being killed by other by Black cis men, no one cares. No one gives a rat's toot about their lives, and that's not fair, and that's not okay. So, I think that, and I remember, like, there was a story that I remember when I was 20. I remember when I was on a date, and I told the story before, but this is the first time I'm, like, saying it in, like, I met this guy online, and he had attacked me, or he had a friend. It was a double taxing, whatever. The guy, like, stole my phone, and then the other guy that he was with, like, pulled out this, like, massively large knife, and he tried to, like, stab me. Thank God I was faster than him, because I ran, because I'm like scared out my wits. And And I remember like there was a police station not too far from where I was. So I like run to the police station, and like, you know, there's this cop in there, and he says to me, and he's a black guy, he's black. And I run in there, and the guy says to me, like, he's like, oh, what happened? Like, what's going on? And I was like, you know, I was attacked. This guy stole my phone. He tried to hit another friend that tried to stab me. And, you know, the guy was like saying, like, the cop asked me, like, well, why was you with the guy or whatever? And I was like, we were supposed to go on a date or something like that. And he's like, what? And I was like, we were supposed to go on a date. And then, like, you know, the guy like ambushed me and he tried to stab me. He's like, oh, that's so fucking disgusting. And I was like, what? He's like, oh, he's like, I can't fucking stand faggots. That's what he says to me. So, and it was really, really hard for me, because I could not believe this man, like, I couldn't believe that, like, you know, this is a guy who said he made an oath that he would protect and serve the public. But then as soon as a person that, you know, who like walks on a walk of life that he doesn't like, all of a sudden all that goes out the window and he doesn't care. And it really, really like bothered me for a very long time. And I remember I was trying to get him to, like, you know, I know where the guy lives. Like, you know, I was just at his house. Can you just, like, please just go and, like, you know, arrest him? Like, he just tried to attack me with a knife. He's like, no, I can't help you. No. Like, he just did not care. In his head, he felt like I deserved it and I wasn't worthy of any kind of help. And those are the kind of people that piss me off. And those are the kind of people that I just... Sorry. Those are the kind of people that piss me off. And those are the kind of people that I don't want to be around. Like, I make it very clear that if you are a homophobe, or if you're just like a nasty bigot for no reason, you have no place in my life. You just don't. I believe that everyone should have a right to, like, live their truth. And like I said, like, that's just like one big example, but there's other examples about how a lot of times men, or I should say, look, a lot of times it's cis straight men who just have like this like hatred towards to people who are gay. And maybe it's because of the fact that it's just the way they were brought up, but I don't care. You have a brain. You should be able to critically think. You should be able to, like, you know, like, learn to evolve and learn to like, you know, learn to, like, you know, because I understand that, like, you know, like, everybody, like, you know, everyone can be ignorant to certain situations. Like, you know, we all grow, we all evolve. But then there's some people who are just like, nope, I don't care. Nope, I don't care. Nope. Like, you know, like, I don't have to accept that. I don't have to accept. And honestly, even though we have made some progress, but let me tell you, we still have a long way to go. Because, like, I remember, like, going on, like, on Facebook or Instagram, and whenever there's, like, some sort of, like, something about being gay, I don't know, whatever, the comments on the thread, like, the comment thread is just disgusting and despicable. It's despicable how nasty people are when it comes to, like, their like, you know what I'm saying, how they talk about people who are gay. It's, like, unreal. And I think it all comes from a sense of, oh, well, it's a lifestyle and we chose to be this way. And I'm just, like, saying, like, no one. And I remember I wrote in the comments, I said, being gay is not a lifestyle. 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 Like, I kept on writing that over and over again, because, like, until it's burned in their head that, like, you're saying that who we are is not a lifestyle. It's just it's a sexual orientation. It's part of our identity. It's part of how we love and how we like receive love. And just like you, as a hetero, you have like if you go to a heterosexual person right now, and you say to them, well, since being gay is a choice, does that mean that being straight is a choice? So therefore, you can like men, but you choose not to just deal with them. But you have the ability to like men. And I'm pretty sure all the straight guys, like they'll say all this bullshit about why it's not true and blah 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 blah. And they like to backpedal and say no, it's not the same thing. It is the same thing. Like it's like for some reason you think that gays have like this like magic like ability to like switch off their sexual orientation at will, but somehow you don't. And that to me has always bugged me about just the mindset, because the mindset that they have is trash. Honestly, it's really trash, and it's unfortunate. But I think that I lost patience with people. Like I don't have patience for they're growing. No, that's not growing. They're being vicious for no reason. They're being vicious because they feel like I don't want to have to have to accept this. So therefore I'm going to continue to be ignorant. So, but I'm happy that, but I am blessed to have good friends in my corner. I'm surrounded by really great people that like truly love me and people like accept me. Which is awesome. Which is all that I really ever asked for, or just all that I ever really wanted in this life, is really be accepted by my peers and find success with my artwork. You know, that's all I can really ask for, honestly. And I'm a simple person. Like I don't really ask for much. Like I have this thing is, if you respect me, I respect you. You know what I'm saying, and vice versa, and that's just the bottom line, you know. And one of my people who I really look up to is Billy Porter, and you know Billy Porter has said, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, I don't need your acceptance. This is a matter of you respecting my humanity, and I'm like, oh, he is just I'm telling you, Billy Porter, I want to meet you, and I want you to be like I want you to be my mentor. I think that you're so cool. I think that you're so inspiring. I think you're just amazing. Like I don't know. I just freaking love this guy. Like, you know, he's so cool, and like I just love that he just doesn't care. You know, like when I remember. We went to, like, I mean, when he went to, I actually met him one time, actually. He came to Salem once. It was during Halloween time. And I remember I was dressed up as Green Lantern. And I was like, oh my God, Billy Porter! And he took a picture of me really quick. And then he's like, oh, get back to work. Like, because I was out there busking for tips. And he kind of just, like, you know, went off and did his thing. But, oh, I wish I would have, like, you know, like, kind of like carried a conversation with him a lot more, because like I just find him to be so like cool and so like inspiring, and I think that's really what I think that's something that, like, you know, that I try to aspire to, because he's just like, he uses his platform for good, like, you know, and Billy Porter is someone who I really look up to, and someone who I really admire. So, and I remember he made this other post on his Instagram, because I follow him on Instagram. I love him. And he, you know, he was like talking about the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and then like he was saying the same thing that I was saying about how Black people a lot of times they have like this thing of feeling like, well, I don't have to respect you because you're gay and I don't care, but yeah, take down racism. Like, you know, it's the same thing. Bigotry is bigotry all around the board. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's how about this? How about you stop being an asshole to people, and then maybe you have the right to stop people stop being assholes to you. Like, you know, But like, you know, and I understand that the whole police brutality thing is it's a completely different situation, because and it's wrong and it needs to stop, because in like, you know, like, you know, there's like, it was a lot of like, you know, like, you know, black people who were murdered recently, because, you know, like Breonna Taylor and, you know, George Floyd, and there's another guy, I forgot what his name was. He's doing that, like, he played the violin with the cats, whatever. I forgot what his name was. And Ahmaud Arbery, like, these people were like taken out for no reason. Like, you know, they should be here right now. They should be alive right now. But going back, I just feel like there needs to be a balance of, like, you know, like, yes, even like kind of like what Billy Zapori said, you don't have to like accept me. You know, you have a right to believe what you believe, but you're not going to disrespect me. You know, it's about respecting everyone's humanity, and also, you can't sit there and make up false narratives because you're a homophobe. So, like, you know, you can't sit there and make up these false realities of how gay people came to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's been gay people since the dawn of time. Like, you know, but it's you guys who have the problem, not me. You know, you have the problem. So, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make this video because it's something that I'm really, really passionate about. It's something that holds, like, it's a thing that holds near and dear to me, because I'm not someone who sits well with being treated poorly because I'm different. But yeah. But I thank you for listening. I just feel better for sharing, because I really wanted to share that, because it's something that it's really something that that makes me that I really wanted to, like, get off my chest, and something, like I said before, it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. So, but thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.